Today, I just want to take a moment to ramble about how proud I am of the Canadian men's soccer team. I don't know that this video will appeal to all that many people, but tomorrow we are heading into the semi-final of Copa America, and regardless of those upcoming results, I think that this is huge for us on the world stage, bigger than the World Cup was, maybe, because qualifying for the World Cup alone was immense for Canadians, but it still felt like the conversation outside of Canada was, congratulations Canada, but you don't have a shot at getting past the group stage, which in all fairness is what happened, but it didn't really lead to any more conversation outside of that. But now, with Copa America, we really have something to stand on for future international tournaments, and hopefully people are taking notice. I saw a headline this morning, I don't remember if it was from The Athletic or which news outlet reported it, but the headline was, "Is Canada North America's best team now?" And just for the record, I didn't say that. I'm not trying to start any fights. I don't know if maybe I agree, maybe I don't. But that's not, this just goes to show that people are taking notice finally, and people are talking about it. So I don't even know, maybe the person who wrote that article is Canadian themselves. I wouldn't put past us. I wouldn't put it past us, but you know, it's been fun to be the surprise package of this tournament. I think we're surprising a lot of people. I'm not necessarily all that surprised. I think leading up to the tournament, was it in my jersey ranking video or something that I mentioned we're probably gonna be out early? That was before I really saw what Jesse Marsh was gonna be doing with our team. You know, I am ecstatic, but not that surprised, since sort of like the pre-tournament, the beginning of the tournament, Volatile Patient, a friend of the channel, asked me, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, how far I thought Canada could go in the tournament, and I actually said the semi-finals. This was, you know, maybe midway through the group stage, and sort of assuming that if we are moving on from the group stage, it's in second place. Of course, we were in a group with Argentina, and so we were going to be moving on in second place, and at the time sort of correctly predicted that Venezuela would finish top of their group. And I told Volatile Patient, I don't hate our odds against Venezuela. And then because of the tournament format, which is a little bit odd, thought we'd have a rematch against Argentina in the semifinal. And that's the thing about, I did not even consider Argentina not being in the semifinals. It's not that I don't specifically rate our chances, Canada's chances against Argentina. It's that I don't like anyone's chances against Argentina. Best team in the world, easily the favorites to win the whole thing. I think according to Google, Canada has, was it a 9% chance of winning the match outright tomorrow? And I will come back to that because it's not a lost cause. We're not out of the tournament yet. But first, I have to mention Jesse Marsh. He's one of us now. I'm sorry, Americans, but it's too late. It's funny because after the United States exit from the tournament, I was seeing a surprising amount of people online saying, okay, it's Berhalter out, let's bring in Jesse Marsh. And the surprising part to me was the idea that Jesse Marsh would just happily leave Canada, put aside his history with US soccer, right? Because I don't think it's a good one. I don't think he has a positive relationship with the executives there. But that's none of my business. You're assuming that he'd drop a team that made it out of the group stage for a team that did not, when he's contracted with Canada through the next World Cup and a guaranteed spot in the group stage. And I'm not delusional. I understand that, first of all, America is perceived to have a better squad. I guess we have more MLS players than they do. But sometimes I feel like the US team is a little bit overrated. I'm not saying, they're not a bad team, of course not. But I think they might be a little bit overrated, generally. I think there's a discipline issue over there right now. And I think that the Canadian team has more hunger and more cohesion than the Americans do, and that has to be attractive to Jesse Marsh. The other issue, of course, is that US soccer can probably pay him a whole lot more than we can. I think that is the real threat for us. But look, because Canada is a team on the rise, there's so much positivity from the players and from the fans, and hopefully that counts for something. I even saw one person say, oh yeah, having Jesse Marsh would be good, but also what about Klopp? And I'm like, you need to come back down to earth a little bit, because you're assuming that both Marsh and Klopp want to coach America. I don't see either of those things happening. Maybe I'll eat my words. But yeah, Jesse Marsh definitely being wholly embraced by Canada right now, and just the improvements that we've seen within the tournament itself. That Venezuela game was so good. But we're not there yet. We have to talk about the group stage first. So we opened the tournament against Argentina. We held them off for the first half. Gripo on those one-on-ones is something to behold. Bombito is on. Messi Cornelius is keeping the left side clean. We're playing a very, for us, high line, which is risky, but ultimately has paid off in the tournament. Davies is getting forward. Beautiful. They did figure us out in the second half, and we ultimately lost 2-0. But I still think it's a game to be proud of on our end. I would not call it a baptism by fire in any way for the tournament, in a good way. And it made me really excited for what was to come. So then our two other group stage matches were against Peru and Chile. A win and a draw. And I think the concern that came out of those matches was that our opponents in both matches received red cards along the way. So it's all good and well and good, that we made it out of the group stage. But what happens when we face an opponent that's at full strength? The way that I maybe chose to see it was that those teams didn't expect us to come out this physical and this aggressive on the attack. And so those red cards were the result of a well-executed, well-thought-out plan. In the Peru match, Schaffelberg got studs to the lower leg. His foot was planted. It looked awful. And it was initially given as a yellow, and then it was upgraded to a red through VAR. In the Chile match, it was Larrea that was fouled still pretty early on, in the first third of the match, and he was fouled by a player who was already on a yellow, and the guy was sent off. So the true test of our team was going to be the Venezuela match. In the quarterfinals, that was on July 5th, and like I said, it was an insane match. I saw someone say, it's crazy how today, meaning July 5th, we had Spain versus Germany and Portugal versus France, and yet the match of the day was Canada versus Venezuela. And I mean, yeah, I think that might be the most exciting football that I've seen Canada play 16 shots, 7 of them were on target. We looked really, really good. Unfortunately, we did go into this one without Tajon Buchanan, who broke his tibia or fractured his tibia in training. But it's giving a real sense of momentum going into the semifinals against Argentina. Oliver Platt quoted Jesse Marsh as saying, "Argentina will have to be the best match we've ever played, and it still might not be enough, but whatever, we're going to go for it." And I totally feel that. It's that sense of every neuron in my head is telling me that we can't win this. I have to be realistic, but hey, we're here now. Our guys are going to play their little hearts out, and I'm going to be thinking, what if, until the final whistle. And if we win this, I'll have to get "but whatever" tattooed across my forehead. It's going to become my life's motto. For the record, if you're looking for an official prediction, it's for Argentina to win. I'm ready to fly first class to Miami if we get to the final. The nice thing is that the resale tickets would probably be reasonable if Messi's not in the final. You're seeing denial in action right now. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with me and humoring me while I ramble about Team Canada. I encourage you to watch tomorrow. Think of me. Send your thoughts and prayers. And I'll see you in the next video.